A single act of kindness can rewrite destiny. Mama Adana sells roasted corn on dusty streets for survival. When a barefoot child cries from hunger, she gives away her last meal. The man watching from his Mercedes had built an empire on food, but had forgotten what hunger truly means. What he does next will remind you that grace flows both ways. The morning sun bleeds orange across Lagos, painting shadows on cracked asphalt. Mama Adana wipes sweat from her brow, her 32 years etched into lines around kind eyes. Her wooden cart squeaks as she pushes it toward her corner near the bustling Acacia intersection, the same spot she's claimed for 7 years. Her hands move with practiced rhythm, arranging corn cobs, stoking charcoal embers that will burn until sunset. The scent of roasting maize mingles with exhaust fumes and hope. Each cob represents possibility. 15 naira profit means rice for dinner. 20 sales mean she can send something to her daughter in the village. Adana's wrapper, faded from countless washes, clings to her thin frame. Her daughter, Chioma, is 9 now. Living with Adana's mother because city schools demand fees Adana cannot conjure from smoke and corn. 3 years apart. 3 years of sacrifice that tastes like ash. Just a little longer. She tells herself, the same prayer she's whispered for 1,000 dawns. Just until I save enough. Her fingers bear burn scars from errant embers. Her feet know every pothole on this corner. Passers-by see a street vendor. They don't see the secondary school certificate hidden in her room, or the dreams she folded away when her husband died, leaving debts that swallowed everything. But dignity lives in how she greets each customer, with respect, with warmth, with the belief that poverty is her circumstance, not her identity. Mama Adana. 2 corn. A regular customer calls. She smiles, genuine and bright. Coming, sir. Extra butter today, no charge. These small generosities cost her profits, but kindness is the only wealth she refuses to ration. 3 kilometers away, in a glass tower that reflects clouds like ambitions, Richard Okafor stands before floor-to-ceiling windows. At 41, he commands a restaurant empire, Okafor's Golden Table, with 17 locations across West Africa. His suit costs more than Adana earns in 6 months. Success decorates his office. Framed magazine covers, photos with governors and celebrities, a gilded plaque reading Restaurateur of the Decade. His secretary brings Ethiopian coffee in bone china. He drinks without tasting, scrolling through expansion projections on his tablet. Richard built this from nothing, or so he tells journalists. He omits the small family eatery his late mother started, the foundation she laid with calloused hands while he studied abroad on her savings. That story doesn't fit the self-made myth his brand requires. His wife Zainab shops in Milan. His son Khalil attends the British International School. Richard attends charity dinners where poverty is discussed over champagne, where check writing substitutes for understanding. He hasn't walked a Lagos street without bodyguards in 5 years. Street food? Unsanitary. Street vendors? Eyesores that clutter his vision of a modern city. He once petitioned the governor to clear them, for aesthetics he claimed. For progress. Pride lives in his posture, in how he dismisses his chauffeur's greetings with silence, in how he believes wealth proves worthiness. The universe, he thinks, rewards the deserving. He has never been hungry enough to beg. Tuesday afternoon heat presses down like judgment. Adana fans her coals, watching pedestrians blur past. Hurried, preoccupied, alive with purpose. Her sales have been slow. 6 cobs sold since dawn. Her stomach growls quietly, but she ignores it. She'll eat tonight. Maybe. Then she hears it. A child's sob, high and desperate. A boy, perhaps 6 years old, stands near the bus stop. His school uniform hangs too large, sleeves swallowing small hands. His face is streaked with tears and dust. He clutches a torn backpack, shaking with those full-body cries that come from deep wounds. Adana's heart clenches. She knows that cry, the sound of hunger mixed with shame. People pass without stopping. A woman in heels tuts disapprovingly. A man pulls his own child closer, away from the crying boy, as if misfortune might be contagious. The boy sinks to the curb, shoulders heaving. Adana looks at her cart. 7 cobs left. 7 chances at survival for the day. She looks at her blackened fingers, at the coins in her tin that won't be enough regardless. Then she looks at the child. The decision makes itself. She selects the best cob, golden, perfectly roasted, glistening with butter. She wraps it in paper, walks over and kneels beside him. Her knees crack softly. "Little one," she says gently, "why these tears?" He looks up, eyes red and swollen. I lost my lunch money. The older boys took it. I'm so hungry, Ma." His voice breaks. "My driver will come at 3, but I'm so hungry now." Driver. The word registers. This child isn't poor. But hunger knows no class in this moment. Adana presses the corn into his hands. "Eat, my dear. It's okay. God provides." "But I have no money. Did I ask for money?" Her smile carries the warmth of a mother missing her daughter. "Eat. You're someone's precious child. That's payment enough." His fingers close around the corn. Gratitude floods his face. Pure, unguarded, luminous. He devours it like salvation. And Adana watches with satisfaction that fills her emptier than food ever could. She doesn't see the black Mercedes parked 50 meters away, or the man inside who has witnessed everything. Richard Okafor sits in afternoon traffic, irritated. His meeting ran long. He checks his watch. Khalil's school ends in 20 minutes. Zainab is in Dubai. The nanny called in sick. Parenting inconveniences his schedule. His gaze wanders out the tinted window, and he sees his son, Khalil, sitting on a curb crying. Richard's heart stops. His hand flies to the door handle, but then he pauses. Watches. Khalil is talking to a woman, a street vendor, ragged and thin, kneeling in the dirt. Richard's instinct is to intervene, to protect his son from what? Poverty's proximity? Then the woman hands Khalil food. His son accepts it with the reverence Richard hasn't seen him show anything. Not the expensive toys, not the elaborate birthday parties. Richard's throat tightens. The vendor doesn't linger or lecture. She simply pats Khalil's head and returns to her cart, moving as if she gave away nothing of consequence, though Richard's business mind calculates. Each cob is inventory, is income, is survival. She gave profit away for tears. Something ancient and buried shifts in Richard's chest. A memory surfaces. His mother, pressing her last meat portion onto his plate before he left for university. "You need strength for studying," she'd said, eating only rice. He'd been too young, too focused on escape, to understand the sacrifice. Shame burns hotter than the afternoon sun. His driver starts to move forward, but Richard raises his hand. "Wait. Find out who that woman is." Discreetly. "Sir." "The vendor." "Her name." "Where she's from." "Everything." The driver nods slowly, confused but obedient. Richard watches Adana through tinted glass, sees her return to her cart with quiet grace, adjusting cobs with careful hands. She doesn't perform her goodness. She simply embodies it. He thinks of his 17 restaurants, his awards, his philanthropy galas, and wonders when charity became transactional. When did he forget that kindness requires no audience? Khalil finishes eating, and Richard finally exits the car, approaching his son with unfamiliar emotion clogging his throat. "Baba." Khalil jumps up, wiping his mouth. "I'm sorry I lost my money, but a kind woman I saw." Richard pulls him close, breathing in the scent of butter and second chances. Over his son's shoulder, he watches the vendor squeeze lime over sizzling corn, unaware she's been seen. But Mama Adana had no idea her life was about to change. The day drains toward evening. Adana sells 3 more cobs, not enough. She counts her earnings twice, hoping mathematics will shift in her favor. 150 naira. Rent is due in 6 days. She's 4,000 short. God will provide, she tells herself, though the words feel thin. She pushes her cart home as streetlights flicker to life. Her room sits behind a compound in Mushin, a single space she shares with 2 other tenants, divided by hanging cloths. Her corner holds a mattress, a kerosene stove, a bucket for bathing, and a photograph of Chioma taped to the wall. Her neighbor, Auntie Ngozi, a seamstress with kind eyes and 5 children, offers dinner from her pot. You're too thin, Adana. Comeit. I'm fine, ma. Thank you. But Ngozi insists, and Adana accepts because refusal would offend, and because hunger is winning. They eat rice and stew in comfortable silence, the way women who understand struggle need no words. Your daughter? Ngozi asks, nodding toward the photograph. She's well. Growing tall. My mother says she's top of her class. Pride and pain compete in Adana's voice. You'll bring her back soon. God is faithful. Adana nods, swallowing tears with cassava. Faith is her last possession, but it weighs heavily some nights. Later, alone, she calls her mother from a borrowed phone. Chioma's voice, bright and distant, pours through the speaker. Mama, when can I come home? Soon, my heart. Very soon. I miss you. I miss you more than words can say. After hanging up, Adana allows herself to cry, quietly, so neighbors won't hear. So dignity remains intact. She counts her coins again, as if hope might multiply them. Outside, Lagos roars and glitters, indifferent to her mathematics of survival. Thursday morning arrives with rain, the kind that floods gutters and drowns small mercies. Street vendors cover their wares with plastic. Sales will be terrible. Adana almost doesn't see it. A package, wrapped in plain brown paper, sits on her cart handle. She looks around. The street is busy, anonymous. She unwraps it carefully. Inside, a thick pair of heat-resistant gloves, professional quality, and an envelope. Her hands shake as she opens it. 5,000 naira in crisp bills. A handwritten note on expensive paper. For the woman whose kindness fed more than hunger. Your dignity honors us all. Accept this gift with the same grace you give to others. You are seen. You are valued. No signature. No name. Adana's vision blurs. She presses the note to her chest, looking around wildly, but the giver has vanished into morning crowds. 5,000 naira. Rent. Food. Medicine for the cough she's been ignoring. But more than money, someone saw her. Someone witnessed her worth beyond transactions. She clutches the gloves, tears streaming unashamedly now. Auntie Ngozi, selling oranges nearby, notices. Adana? What happened? I don't know, she whispers. I don't know, but Grace. Grace happened. She spends the morning working with new gloves, softer hands, lighter heart. She tucks the note in her wrapper, touching it occasionally like a talisman. Rain stops. Sun breaks through. She sells 12 cobs, and each customer seems brighter somehow, as if kindness is contagious. That night, she sends money to her mother and sleeps deeply for the first time in months. Richard's private investigator delivers a folder. Richard reads it in his office after hours, city lights spread below like fallen stars. Adana Ease, 32 years old. Widow. Husband died 4 years ago. Construction accident, no compensation. One daughter, Chioma, 9, living with maternal grandmother in Enugu State. Senior secondary certificate in business studies. Worked as a store clerk before husband's death. Sold property to pay his medical bills and debts. Current income. Approximately 3,000 to 5,000 naira weekly. No criminal record. Community reputation, excellent. Known for generosity despite poverty. Richard sets the folder down, rubbing his eyes. Here is a woman with education, with potential, grinding herself to dust on street corners. Here is a woman who gave away profit to feed a stranger's child, his child, without hesitation. He thinks of his managers, his executives, their ruthless efficiency and careful calculations. Would any of them sacrifice income for abstract compassion? His mother's voice echoes. Richard, wealth that serves only itself rots from within. She used to feed homeless people behind their small restaurant. Despite his father's complaints about waste, Richard had rolled his eyes then, embarrassed by her softness. He was young and stupid. Now, staring at Adana's story, he sees his mother's wisdom, that true prosperity includes everyone, or it means nothing. He picks up his phone, calls his assistant. I need you to arrange something discreet. No names. No fanfare. I'll send details. Plans form, quiet and careful. He will help, but not as the powerful Richard Okafor. She gave without seeking credit. He will honor that. Victor Okoro sells electronics from a shop near Adana's corner. For 3 years, he's watched her with contempt. Street vendors like her cheapen the area, he believes. She's refused his advances twice, wounded his pride. He notices her new gloves, her lighter mood. Look at you, Mama Adana. He sneers one afternoon, voice loud enough for others to hear. Suddenly you have nice things. What did you do for them? Who did you thank? The implication is ugly. Adana's face hardens, but she doesn't respond. Silence is dignity's armor. Maybe she's stealing, Victor continues, playing to gathering onlookers. Check her cart. Maybe that's why she's suddenly prosperous. A few people laugh nervously. Others frown. Auntie Ngozi steps forward. Victor, shut your rotten mouth. Adana is worth 10 of you. Mind your business, old woman. Tension crackles. A crowd forms. Adana stands quiet, hands folded, eyes lowered. She will not fight, will not justify. The lies will exhaust themselves. A policeman approaches, drawn by commotion. What's happening here? Victor seizes opportunity. Officer, this woman, I suspect theft. She suddenly has expensive items. I was given a gift, Adana says quietly. By someone kind. Nothing stolen. The officer looks between them, assessing. You have proof of this gift? Adana's heart sinks. A note. At home. Then we'll go check. Come. Humiliation tastes like metal. The crowd whispers. Victor smirks, victory close. But then a voice cuts through. That won't be necessary. A tall man in a business suit steps forward. Richard's lawyer, dispatched at precisely this moment. He hands papers to the officer. I represent the anonymous donor. These documents confirm the gift's legitimacy. Everything is accounted for. Unless you'd like to pursue harassment charges against this man for false accusations. The officer scans the papers, nods. No offense committed. Disperse. Victor's face drains of color. The crowd murmurs, some apologizing to Adana. The lawyer vanishes as quickly as he appeared. Adana's knees weaken with relief. Someone is watching over her. Someone powerful enough to deploy lawyers, yet invisible enough to remain mystery. Who are you? She wonders, searching faces in the crowd. But her guardian angel has already driven away, watching through tinted windows. The following week, Adana arrives at her corner to find another package. Inside, a month's supply of corn wholesale, premium quality, and 2,000 naira for charcoal and supplies. The note reads, so your inventory becomes profit, not pressure. Invest in yourself. You deserve security. She weeps quietly, overwhelmed. This gift multiplies her capacity. No more choosing between eating and restocking. This is strategic generosity, the kind that understands poverty's mathematics. She works with renewed vigor, selling out daily, saving steadily. She calls Chioma more often, promises becoming tangible. 3 weeks later, the third gift arrives. An envelope slipped under her door. Inside, 15,000 naira and a letter. I've arranged for Chioma's school fees to be paid directly for the next year. She can come home. The scholarship is anonymous, needs-based, real. Bring your daughter home, Adana. You've sacrificed enough. Adana collapses onto her mattress, sobbing so hard Auntie Ngozi bursts in, alarmed. But these are tears of deliverance, of prayers answered by an invisible hand. Who is doing this? Ngozi whispers, reading the letter. An angel, Adana manages. God sent me an angel. She books a bus ticket to Enugu that afternoon. The reunion with Chioma 3 days later is sunlight and laughter, is healing compressed into embraces. They return to Lagos together, mother and daughter no longer separated by poverty's cruel geography. Chioma enrolls in a local school, modest but good. Their room feels crowded and perfect. Adana's corn business thrives. She's not wealthy, but she's no longer drowning. And still she wonders, who sees me? Who cares this much? 2 months after the first gift, a food blogger discovers Adana's corner. Her corn, seasoned with gratitude and grilled with care, is featured in an article titled Lagos Hidden Gems. Business explodes. Lines form. People travel across the city for her famous corn. She hires Auntie Ngozi's teenage son to help. She saves enough to move to a better room with separate spaces for her and Chioma. Small victories accumulate. Dignity expands. One evening, a customer mentions seeing her featured on Instagram. Adana doesn't fully understand social media, but she understands validation. Her work matters. She matters. Victor watches with burning resentment. Victor's jealousy festers into cruelty. One night he bribes a street boy to sabotage Adana's cart, loosening wheels, puncturing her charcoal bag, scattering her corn. Adana arrives at dawn to find destruction. Corn everywhere, spoiled and trampled. Cart unusable. Supplies ruined. Her scream brings nearby vendors running. Auntie Ngozi holds her as she weeps. Not just for loss but for violation. Someone hated her enough to destroy hope. Who would do this? She cries. The street boy, guilt-ridden, confesses by noon. Uncle Victor paid me. I'm sorry, Ma. I needed money. Witnesses come forward. Victor's sabotage is confirmed. But instead of calling police, Victor retaliates with lies, accusing Adana of selling rotten food that sickened children. He files false reports, circulates rumors, creates chaos. She's a fraud, he shouts in the market. She bribed that blogger. She's unsanitary. Close her down. Fear grips Adana. She has no lawyer, no power, no defense against slander. Customers hesitate. Sales drop. Chioma cries, confused why people suddenly avoid them. Mama, why are they saying bad things? Because some people's hearts are sick, my love. But truth will prevail. But Adana's voice wavers. Will it? How can truth compete with loud lies? Richard learns of the sabotage through his network. He's been quietly monitoring Adana's progress, ensuring his gifts bear fruit. Victor's accusations ignite something fierce in him. Enough silence. Enough shadows. He assigns his security team to investigate. Within 48 hours they produce evidence. CCTV footage from a nearby shop showing Victor paying the boy. Timestamps proving Adana's corn couldn't have caused any illness. No illnesses were even reported. Testimony from health inspectors confirming her cleanliness standards. Richard's legal team prepares documents. His PR firm drafts statements. But before unleashing institutional power, Richard does something unexpected. He visits Adana's corner himself. It's evening. She's packing up, defeated, eyes hollow. Chioma sits on an upturned crate, doing homework by streetlight. Richard parks, tells his driver to wait. He approaches slowly, this man accustomed to command now uncertain. Excuse me, are you Mama Adana? She looks up, wary. His expensive clothes mark him as someone from a different universe. Yes, sir. Can I help you? Even in despair, her courtesy remains. I wanted to buy corn. I've heard it's the best in Lagos. A tired smile. I'm closed, sir. And business is difficult now. Because of false accusations. Her eyes sharpen. How do you know about that? Because I make it my business to know when good people are hurt by lies. He pauses. I can help. I have evidence to clear your name. But I need your permission. Why would you help me? You don't know me. Richard's throat tightens. I know enough. I know you gave food to a crying child without asking for anything. I know you work harder than most people I employ. I know you deserve justice. Adana studies him, this stranger offering rescue. What do you want in return? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. She wants to believe him, but poverty teaches suspicion. Who are you? Someone who was shown grace once. I'm just passing it forward. He hands her his lawyer's card. Call this number tomorrow. Everything will be handled. Your reputation will be restored. He turns to leave, but Adana's voice stops him. Thank you, sir. God bless you. Richard nods, emotion thick in his chest, and walks away before tears betray him. The next week unfolds like justice on fast forward. Richard's legal team presents evidence to market authorities, to the blogger, to social media platforms where rumors spread. Victor's lies collapse spectacularly. CCTV footage goes public. Witnesses testify. Health officials release statements confirming Adana's perfect record. The same blogger who featured her writes a follow-up. Entrepreneur survives sabotage. A story of resilience. The article goes viral, and public opinion swings hard in Adana's favor. Victor is arrested for filing false reports, for destruction of property, for slander. His shop faces boycotts. His name becomes synonymous with pettiness. Adana, however, asks the prosecutor to show leniency. He was wrong, but destroying his life helps no one. Let him learn. Let him change. Her mercy stuns everyone, except Richard, watching from afar, who recognizes grace when he sees it. Customers return in droves. Apologies pour in. Someone starts a crowdfund to replace her damaged supplies. It raises 3 times the needed amount in 2 days. Adana, overwhelmed by support, stands vindicated not just legally, but morally. She kept her dignity through fire, and fire revealed gold. 3 months later, Richard's company announces its annual Golden Table Gala, a charity dinner honoring everyday heroes in Lagos. 100 small business owners and community servants will be recognized. Adana receives an embossed invitation by courier. Her hands tremble reading it. You have been nominated as an everyday hero for your contribution to community kindness and entrepreneurial resilience. Please join us for an evening of celebration. Attire formal. Formal. The word mocks her. She owns one good outfit, a church dress Chioma has outgrown. Nothing gala-worthy. I can't go, she tells Ngozi. I don't belong in places like that. Nonsense. You've earned this. With what will I wear? How will I? A knock interrupts. A delivery man holds a garment bag and shoebox. Mama Adana. Yes. For you. From a friend. Inside the bag. A stunning traditional outfit in deep blue oak, expertly tailored. The shoes fit perfectly. A note reads, every queen deserves a crown. Attend with your head high. Tears again. Always tears with this mysterious benefactor. Chioma squeals with excitement. Mama, you look like royalty. Maybe Adana thinks maybe she does. The gala is held at Eco Hotel's Grand Ballroom. Crystal chandeliers, live orchestra, tables draped in silk. Adana enters trembling, clutching her small purse like a shield. She recognizes no one. Everyone glitters with wealth and confidence. She nearly turns back. But an usher guides her to a table marked with her name. Other honorees sit there, a teacher, a nurse, a sanitation worker. People like her. She breathes easier. Across the room, Richard watches her entrance. His wife, Zainab, notices his distraction. Who are you looking at? Someone important. Zainab follows his gaze, sees Adana, confusion flickering. The street vendor? The hero, he corrects quietly. Khalil sits beside them, bored by adult proceedings, until he recognizes someone. Bubba. That's the corn woman. The one who gave me food. Richard smiles. Yes, son. That's her. Can I go thank her? Later. Let her enjoy her evening first. Dinner is served. Ironic, Richard thinks, that his restaurants feed hundreds while Adana fed one child with everything she had. Which is true nourishment. Victor is not present, but his absence speaks loudly. Cruelty didn't earn invitations. After dinner, the ceremony begins. The host, a popular comedian, calls honorees to the stage one by one. Stories are told, achievements celebrated, gifts presented. Finally, Mama Adana Ease, for extraordinary kindness and resilient entrepreneurship. Applause thunders. Adana walks to the stage on shaking legs, accepts a plaque and a check for 50,000 naira. Cameras flash. She thanks God, thanks Lagos, thanks everyone who supported her. As she starts to descend, the host stops her. Wait, Mama Adana. There's someone who wants to say something. Richard stands, microphone in hand. The room quiets. My name is Richard Okafor. Most of you know me as CEO of Golden Table Restaurants. But tonight, I stand here as a father, as a son, as a man who forgot something essential. He walks toward the stage, toward Adana, whose face registers confusion. 4 months ago, my son lost his lunch money. He was hungry and crying on a street corner. I was stuck in traffic watching through my window, about to intervene, when someone else did first. He points gently to Adana. This woman, who barely had enough for herself, gave her last corn to a child she didn't know. She asked for nothing. She expected nothing. She simply loved. Adana's eyes widen. Recognition dawns. Richard continues, voice thick. My mother built the foundation of my success. She fed everyone, customers, strangers, me. She died before I could tell her I understood. Before I could say her generosity wasn't weakness, it was strength. His voice cracks. When I saw Mama Adana give food to my son, I saw my mother. I saw the kind of wealth money can't buy. So I decided to help, anonymously, because she gave without credit. I wanted to honor that. Gasps ripple through the audience. Adana covers her mouth, tears streaming. I've been the anonymous donor. The gifts, the legal help, this invitation, all of it. And I did it not because she needed saving, but because I needed reminding of what matters. He climbs the stage, stands before her. Mama Adana, you fed my son. But you fed my soul. You reminded me that this empire means nothing if I forget to serve with love. Thank you. Silence, profound and sacred. Then Khalil runs from his seat, climbs the stage, hugs Adana around her waist. Thank you for the corn, he whispers. She holds him, sobbing, laughing, overwhelmed. The room erupts in applause. Zainab wipes tears. Even the waitstaff pause to clap. Richard extends his hand. I'd like to offer you something else. A partnership. I want to open a special kitchen in one of my restaurants, dedicated to feeding hungry children. Free meals every day. And I want you to run it. Not as charity, but as a paid manager. Your compassion with my resources. Adana can't speak. Can only nod. Tears blurring the ballroom into smears of light and hope. Victor's downfall was quiet, not dramatic. No public confrontation. Just consequences rippling outward. His shop, boycotted and unprofitable, closes within months. Friends who once laughed at his jokes avoid him. His reputation, built on false superiority, crumbles under truth's weight. But redemption arrives in unexpected form. One afternoon he appears at Adana's new location. A small window in Richard's flagship restaurant, where free meals are distributed to street children. He stands in line, head down, until Adana notices. Victor. He can't meet her eyes. I came to apologize. What I did was evil. I was jealous, bitter, wrong. She studies him. This man who tried to destroy her, now hollowed out by shame. I forgive you, she says simply. How? Why? Because holding anger would poison me, not you. Because I was given grace I didn't earn. So I pass it forward. She hands him a plate of food. Eat. Then we'll talk about helping you find work. Victor weeps quietly, tasting mercy he doesn't deserve, learning the lesson Adana lives. That humanity is restored through compassion, not vengeance. 6 months later, Adana manages the Hope Kitchen at Golden Table Restaurants. She oversees a team of 5, feeds 200 children daily, trains other street vendors in business skills. Her salary allows her to rent a proper apartment. Chioma thrives in a better school. Adana sends money to her mother monthly, visits Enugu quarterly. But she hasn't changed, not fundamentally. Still humble. Still kind. Still sees dignity in everyone. She and Richard develop an unlikely friendship. mentor and student in both directions. He teaches business strategy. She teaches humanity. You could franchise this model, Richard suggests one day, watching children line up for lunch. Hope kitchens across West Africa. Adana smiles. Let's perfect one first. Quality over expansion. He laughs. When did you become the wise CEO? When did you become the compassionate servant? They both know the answer. They learned from each other. Zainab volunteers at Hope Kitchen on weekends, her designer clothes replaced with aprons, her manicured hands distributing food. Khalil helps after school, remembering the woman who saw his hunger. Auntie Ngozi runs a satellite feeding program in Mushin, funded by Richard but managed by Adana's heart. The boy who sabotaged Adana's cart works there too, finding redemption in service. Even Victor volunteers occasionally, awkward but sincere, learning that dignity is rebuilt through consistency, not grand gestures. One evening after the kitchen closes, Adana and Richard sit on the restaurant's rooftop terrace, watching Legos glow beneath them. Do you remember what it felt like? Adana asks. Before success? Richard nods slowly. Hungry. Desperate. Invisible. That's why we do this. Not for praise. For remembering. They sit in comfortable silence, two souls bridged by corn and grace. My mother would have loved you, Richard says quietly. I think I would have loved her too. Below, the city churns, street vendors pushing carts, children crying, strangers passing strangers. Somewhere, someone is hungry. Somewhere, someone chooses kindness. Khalil joins them, carrying his homework. Baba Mama Adana, I wrote an essay about heroes. Can I read it? They nod. He begins. Heroes don't always wear capes. Sometimes they wear wrappers and sell corn. Sometimes they remember to love when everyone forgets. Tears prick Adana's eyes. She reaches for Richard's hand and Khalil's, forming a circle. Broken people made whole through grace, through witness, through daring to believe dignity is universal. Thank you, she whispers, for seeing me. Thank you, Richard replies, for teaching me to see. Lagos glitters, indifferent and magnificent, holding millions of stories. This one, however, will ripple outward. Hope multiplying, kindness echoing, proof that sometimes the cure we need doesn't come from power or money, but from one person choosing to love when no one is watching. Months become years. Hope kitchens multiply, 7 cities, 14 locations, thousands fed daily. Adana's model is studied by nonprofits, replicated by governments, featured in international development journals. But for Adana, the victory is simpler. Chioma graduates top of her class. Auntie Ngozi's children find jobs through skills training. Victor rebuilds his life with quiet diligence. She never forgets the street corner, the charcoal smoke, the hunger. Success doesn't erase memory, it sanctifies it. Richard visits his mother's grave with Adana one Sunday. They plant flowers together. Hands in soil, equals before grief and grace. She would be proud, Adana says, of both of us. Faith, hope, and kindness, these 3 remain. And the greatest, Adana learned, is the one given without calculation. The narrator's voice, warm and knowing, delivers the final truth. In a world obsessed with climbing ladders, they built tables. In a city of transactions, they chose love. Mama Adana was no longer just a street vendor. She was a bridge, a reminder, a rebellion against the lie that poverty equals worthlessness. And her story became a beacon of hope for the hungry, the forgotten, the invisible everywhere. Proof that sometimes the transformation we need does not come from wealth or power, but from one moment of compassion when a woman with nothing chose to give everything. Because grace, true grace, flows both ways. The giver is saved by giving. The receiver teaches by receiving. And love, multiplied by witness, becomes the only currency that truly matters.